Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Monica here. So today I'm gonna bring you guys something a little bit different. But recently I had a conversation with one of my friends and we were just talking about things that we have done in our past, not because we're ashamed or anything like that, you know, because the thing is, it's part of our life, you know, things that we've gone through. And I personally am not ashamed of the things that I used to do. I am an advocate not to do the things I used to do growing up. I'll get more into that in a second, but because my life has completely changed, you know. I don't drink now, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't do a lot of those type of things, but I used to do all of them. And so today I wanted to share a story with you. I can't remember exactly how old I was, but I'm pretty sure I was 18 when this happened to me. And when I was talking to my friend about it, I'm like, I'm an open book. A lot of, even people in my area, I've told this story to, and my whole testimony in general, but I was like, I'm just gonna start sharing some of these things on here even, because the thing is, I'm not ashamed, and if it can help somebody just be more aware of what can happen in certain circumstances, then it's all worth it, even if it helps one person. So today I want to share this story with you that I call an 8-hour trip from hell. Now, I know that sounds crazy, and like, I'm sure your brain can go in a million different directions with that, but I'm just gonna get into it. So I'm gonna do my best. This is not scripted, but I want to protect people's names and everything too. So if I'm like thinking really hard, it's because I don't want to say anybody's names that were involved other than myself. Okay, so I was about 18 years old. I was living in the current town that I'm currently in. I was with somebody, dating somebody, and I had a really good friend, and this friend was living in a town, oh gosh, I want to say about 3 or 4 hours from me. And she was in a bad relationship as well. And she asked if we could come get her and get her out of this bad relationship that she was in. But she was kind of scared. And so how it went down was, the plan was, me and my boyfriend were gonna go up there and we were gonna go party and just have fun and hang out like nothing's going on. And the next morning when her boyfriend went to work, we were just gonna pack up her things and leave, because it wasn't a obviously it wasn't a healthy relationship, but it was a scary one, and so it had to be done that way. And so we went up to this other town, and the plan was we were just gonna have fun and just hang out. Like I said, make it seem like we were just there to just hang out, you know. And we ended up going to a house party. I have no idea where we were. Like I said, I'm 18 years old. It's, you know, I didn't care. You know, I went to parties like it was nothing. I didn't have to know where I was or anything like that. I also have to note, just so I don't forget, that it was the dead of winter here in North Dakota. Very, very, very cold, okay? And so we were at this house party, and I remember back then I didn't drink. I didn't really like to drink. I loved to smoke pot. Smoking pot was like a daily thing for me. That was just the lifestyle I was living. It was like smoking cigarettes to me. I did it almost every day. And so anyways, we're in this home at this party, and I remember I was drinking a pop, and my friend told me, hey, some people are smoking out back if you want to go. So I'm like, oh yeah, of course I'm gonna go, you know, go smoke some pot with some people. And I went and I did that, and I came back and I was just drinking my pop or whatever, and my friend had smoked that night as well, and that wasn't normal for her. She normally didn't smoke pot. She normally liked to drink. And I remember asking her, I said, do you feel different? Like, not normal, like how you should feel when you smoke pot? And she's like, I feel like you should if you were smoking pot. And I'm like, I was just thinking, I'm like, I'm not. And like I said, that was so normal for me. And yes, I know there's different strains and different strengths or whatever, but I essentially was a pothead. So it's like, I knew, you know, something was different with me in that current state. And I was just like, all right. I remember I quickly escalated into a state of panicking, and my world started shifting and changing. Now, the details on which one of these things came first is kind of a blur, but I remember both happened. But I remember I went and I told her I needed to go get some air. Like I said, completely freezing cold out, dead of winter, North Dakota. And I remember I was wearing a sweater, and I just went outside and I sat outside because I couldn't handle what was happening in the environment that I was in inside. And it dawned on me, it's just one of those things, like I just knew. And I realized somebody put something in my drink. It wasn't the pot that I smoked. It was, I left my pop unattended. And when I came back, somebody put it in my pop. I drank it. And I was now at the beginning of the 8-hour trip from hell, as I call it. So as most of you can imply and figure out, obviously I was roofied. Somebody had intentions of harming me and taking advantage of me. And this is where I thank the Lord so much, because the thing is, even though I was backslidden and I was choosing, I was not ultimately like following the call of God in my life, obviously. God still was there for me. I know he was, and watching me, because there are just certain things like you can't explain. Like I was in this state of things were not the same because I didn't do drugs like that. I was actually afraid to do drugs like shrooms or LSD or anything like that that would alter, or acid, things that would alter my reality. I stuck with like crank and coke and pot and just things that were more I could control, if that makes sense. I know some of you, if you have a history of drugs, you probably know what I'm talking about. But I remember having this moment of telling my friend and my boyfriend, I'm like, I need to go back to your place. Like, I can't be here anymore. I'm freaking out and this is not good. And as we were leaving, I remember there was this guy that I didn't know in the circle talking with just a couple people, and he's like, can I come to your place too? And I just remember like looking at her like, no. Like I just knew that he was the one that did it and he wanted to come back. Because keep in mind, my friends were drunk as well and high. Nobody was in a state of mind where they were sober, okay? Nobody was. But I just had this thing where I just knew like, no, this guy cannot come back with us. And it didn't happen. But it didn't change the fact that I still had been roofied, and I knew that this was awful. Obviously, I'm like, I didn't know how long this was gonna last. I wanted to go to the hospital, but I'm like, nobody can take me to the hospital because everyone is either drunk or high. I'm the same. Like, we're all gonna get busted. It's just a no-win situation. And so I was like, I just have to ride it out. And I did not foresee it lasting that long. All I remember is we get back to their place, and I went and sat in the room, in the extra bedroom or whatever, and my boyfriend, I remember him coming in a couple of times, and I couldn't even handle anybody touching me because I was in such a panic state. and scary state because I was starting to see things. It felt super demonic, super dark, and fear. Like fear was in that room with me, and I literally suffered in that state for about 8 hours. I remember just going back and forth from that bedroom to the bathroom because I kept thinking, if I can get myself to throw up, I can make this go away. And I couldn't. For some reason, I could not get myself to throw up. And I couldn't sleep. That's just not an option when that's happening. I don't know for sure, but my guess is it was PCP, just based off of things I know. It doesn't really matter now, but all I know is I couldn't sleep. It was dark. It was demonic. It changed my reality, and it terrified me and literally scared the crap out of me. And I remember the sun started coming up. Like I said, I didn't sleep. And I have a memory of the sun starting to come up, and it was starting to ease up. All whatever was happening to me was starting to go away. And I walk out into their living room kitchen, and my friend and boyfriend were in there, and I don't remember what I said. I just remember that, and that was kind of the end of it. But I do know this. I'm actually glad I didn't forget it, because it did change things. Shortly after that, I did get pregnant with my first son, and I never touched drugs again. And, you know, like I said, I wanted to share this story because the thing is, even something worse could have happened to me. But I do know the Lord watches me, and he's always had his eye on me. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to try not to tear up right now. I'm going to keep it really simple. But there's a reason for New Life Sparrow. A few different reasons, but one of them in scripture is he always keeps his eye on the sparrow, because he loves the sparrow. And that's how I've always seen him in my whole entire life. Even the poor choices that I've made, I've seen him. He's been with me. Like, I didn't see it back then, but I do now, if that makes sense. And he's always kept his eye on me, and kept me safe. And anyways, I could keep going on and on, but I just want you guys to know that God does have his eye on us. And even though we go through bad things sometimes, even if it's not drug or alcohol related, even if it's health related, that we're not alone. And just remember that we can get through anything, okay, guys? And so anyways, I don't even know how to close this one out. I know it's a little bit different, but I'm thankful for my life now. Even though I'm still dealing with chronic illness, I'm thankful for my life. I have a wonderful family, a wonderful husband, a nice home, healthy relationships and community, and things are good. I have things to be thankful for, even though I'm still walking through this health journey. So maybe that's why I recorded this, to kind of remember, like, hey, it's better than it was, you know? And if I can get through something like that, I can get through this. So I love you guys. If this was helpful, or if you enjoyed it, as always, give it a thumbs up, or like, or whatever. Facebook, YouTube, the things intertwine sometimes. But anyways, I love you guys. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.